Hello Americans and other friends and subscribers from around the world. We're going to do some cooking today, and I am going to make a marinade first for some fajitas. We're going to make chicken fajitas. So in this little Ziploc bag I've got about a half a cup of oil, any kind of oil will do, a couple tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice, or I'm sorry, lime juice. Now if you don't have limes, you can just use the real lime in the bottle that you buy at the store. About a half of a teaspoon of pepper. And put in a couple tablespoons of garlic. This is granulated garlic. Granulated is my favorite garlic seasoning to use. This is chili powder. A couple tablespoons of that. And I'm not using the true measuring spoon tablespoon. I'm just kind of guesstimating there. And a couple tablespoons of honey. And again, just kind of guesstimating the measurement there. Okay, so I've got my marinade here ready. I'm going to zip it and mix all of the stuff in there together, and I'm going to get my chicken ready to show you how I do my chicken. I'm doing chicken breast today, and I'm going to be cooking it on my panini. And when you have a breast of chicken, if you lay it flat on your cutting board, you can see that it's different thicknesses. And if I was to throw this on the panini, this area here that's thinner is going to cook and get dry before this area has cooked all the way through. So what I do is I take my meat tenderizer and flatten it out a little bit so it's more of an even thickness all the way through so it cooks evenly. But I'm not going to do the whole breast. I'm going to cut the breast in half, and I'll lay it out here and just kind of feel where this bulbous section of the breast is the firmest, and then I'll cut it in half there. And if you notice that I'm working from the membrane side, if you flip it over you can see the raw meat and the grains and everything, but you always work from the membrane side like this. So I've got the breast cut the way I want it. Now if I was to take my tenderizer and start to pound on this one, to get it this thick, I'm going to have to hit it really hard, and it'll turn it to hamburger. It'll just pulverize it. And I don't want to do that because I want to have the texture of the meat. If I turn this one over, you can see the membranes and the tendons right in this area right here. And that's what's holding that breast together. That's why I would have to hit it very hard with my tenderizer to get it to flatten out, because this membrane's trying to hold it together. So from this side, if I take it, and you can kind of see the grain of the meat is flowing this direction, so I just take my knife right about the center, and it kind of turns it into a heart shape, like that. And that cuts that tendon in there, so when I use my mallet, this over here, I don't have to hit it quite as hard to get it to flatten. And I got a phone call. Okay, sorry about that, we're back. So I don't think that you really want to watch me do all of the meat here. So I'll get this done and then bring you back and show you the cooking side of it. So I'm going to start cooking my meat. It's going to take a little while because I'm just using my sandwich panini here to cook my meat. And all of this meat is not going to fit on the grill at the same time, so I'm going to have to do it in stages. So while I'm doing starting the meat, I'm also going to be chopping up my vegetables, because the way I do it on the panini, I'm going to have to saute the vegetables somewhere else. So I'll get that going. And I've started here with my jalapenos. This one here, these are the jalapenos. This one here is a poblano, and then an Anaheim. I've got some garlic, and I haven't got my onion. Yeah, that's a big, beautiful clove. I just want to eat it. Yeah. No, you can't eat that one. No. So we'll get these going on the grill and chop up vegetables. The meat is, oh, that smells so good, doesn't it? Can you smell it?
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys smell it? We'll get those grilled and get my vegetables chopped up here, and we'll be right back. So I've about got my vegetables all chopped up. I'll show you here. I've got a little pile of garlic. Here's a medium-sized onion. This is all my jalapenos, and you notice I took most of the seeds out, but that's not, we like really hot and spicy. So that was 4 jalapenos, and sometimes I might not even take the seeds out because we like them so much. Anaheims, poblanos, and cabbage. Yes, that sounds weird, but we like cabbage in our food.
I love cabbage.
We love our cabbage.
It's so good for you.
And I've already taken the first batch of chicken off, and this is the second one.
We did a taste test, and it's amazing.
Yes, it is. Very good. So this has got a few more minutes, and I'm going to get these started. The meat is cooking here. And I've got over here, it hasn't come to temperature yet, but this is my vegetables. I'm going to saute them over here in my rice cooker. And while we're doing that, I'm going to get my cold vegetables and cheese ready for the end product. And I just wanted to share with you guys, I don't know if you are privileged enough to have Tillamook where you're at. Tillamook is an Oregon cheese, and it's a beautiful country over there too. Yep. And if you ever get the chance to go to Tillamook, Oregon, go there. It's really pretty. But this is medium white cheddar. Amazing cheese. I just love it. So I'm going to start my cheese grating, and I use these old antique cheese graters. And I almost hate to share this with everyone because I like to buy them at yard sales and things like that, and then gift them to friends and family that don't have them because they are... well, it's one of those tools that newer and fancy is not better. Just a good old steel cheese grater. And they work awesome. And I actually have 3 different sizes. I got this one. This is the medium. I have one that's a fine shred, and then one that's a giant shred. And the giant shred is really fun for tacos too. I probably should have used that one on this, but oh well, I'm doing the medium. We'll be back. So that is ready for the next batch of chicken. I'll stir up my sauteed veggies here. Got my cheese grated, and I also got my, what we do is a shredded lettuce and shredded cabbage, about 50-50. The cabbage just gives it a little bit more crunch and flavor in the fajita. And the vegetables here actually are looking like they're getting pretty close to being done because I want them to have some crispiness left to them. Not a ton, just a little bit. Get that swapped out. Now after I get all the chicken cut or cooked, then I'll slice it up and squirt some fresh lime juice and salt it, because if you notice I didn't salt in the marinade. So we'll do that at the end. I've got my chicken here done. I'm going to get that all chopped up. My vegetables here are all sauteed and looking very nice. And while I'm doing the chicken, I'm going to steam my tortillas. We use flour tortillas, so use whatever you want to use, corn, hard, soft, whatever. And the way I steam them is I take a paper towel and I fold it and I get it wet and just wring out the excess. I don't make it dry, I just wring out the excess. And I put the tortillas on top. And I take another plate and then another wet paper towel, put it over on the top, and then I microwave it. And when you microwave it, the wet paper towels will steam and you'll have nice, soft, steamed tortillas. Okay, let me get my chicken chopped up. I'm using this plate to transfer the cooked meat onto. So I just piled everything back up over here on my panini. And I'm cutting against the grain, so it'll be a little bit more tender. And I'm not going to cut all of this meat up tonight because we're definitely not going to eat all that meat tonight. So I'm just going to cut up what we're going to use here real quick. Don't make them real big or real small. You can chop them if you want to. Make them as big as you want. Let's probably do 4 of these. So 4 of these would be 2 breasts, because I had cut them before I cooked them. Look at that one falling apart. Ooh, that one's going to be good. Put them on my plate. Put those goodies on there. Take another lime. I like lime on my fajitas. Give it a nice squeeze over the top. Make sure you get on all the meat. Give it some salt. Okay. And there we go. All you gotta do now is roll it up and eat it.
You should show them how you roll.
Oh, you want
she
me
worked
to
at
show?
Taco Time when she was
Okay.
she's a youngin'.
Okay, here, let me move a few things.
All right, let me hold on.
Okay.
I'll turn it off.
Pause. He really wanted me to show how I roll my tacos because he just loves it. So put a little sour cream on, put cheese down on the bottom.
Since when did you start using the little pinch things?
Because I need them for this.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, dude, that's horse crap. You usually grab it with your hands. I thought you were trying to be all...
No, because I want to get into here without using metal. I'm gonna get a couple peppers. Make sure I got some peppers in there, and some cabbage, and some onions, and some chicken. We like the chicken. These ones are kind of small tortillas. I don't know if you noticed that. See, there goes my hand right into the...
we're not having hot sauce or nothing?
I never put hot sauce.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to put hot sauce in?
No,
This will be the first time in 30 years.
You're so full of crap.
Okay, this is the trick. So if you notice that the tortilla is right here, like this. I put it in that quadrant. Fold the bottom over, and this is the tricky part. And that's why I always put the lettuce on top, so I can use it to keep the other toppings kind of tucked in without getting my fingers in the sour cream. And tuck it over that way. Roll it. And there you go. Look at that. Oh, that looks so good.
Where'd you learn to do that?
At Taco Time. I worked at Taco Time back in my early 20s.
I remember. I loved it. I used to go in there and eat a lot of burritos.
Yes, you did. So I'm going to finish these up. And then we're going to have dinner. And get that done so we can get the video edited and get it on the morning for you guys so you can be hungry today, all day, thinking about fajitas. So please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Helps keep the lights on, the home fire is burning, and the propane tank's full. And be sure to check out the links down below, the eBay links down there, because that's a great way to support the homestead.
And we appreciate that.
And we really appreciate that. We don't just appreciate, we really appreciate that. So good Lord willing, and the cricks don't rise.
We'll be back again tomorrow.
See ya.